Hey, what is going on? What is going on? I've been out right now, man. I'm chilling. I don't know if y'all can hear the music or not, but I'm just chilling. We'll be talking, vibing, all that good stuff, man. Uh, I'm looking at the foreclosure list, and I always start off like this, man. Foreclosures is not something that we should look at as a understanding that someone's going through a hard time at the moment. That's the biggest thing I could say. Uh, my parents have been through the foreclosure. They've been through. We've lost our home before, so I've definitely understand. I've been there before. But what I would say at the moment, like I said, when it comes to investors, you want local investors with local dollars who actually live in the city. That's going to do right by the city. You know, you want someone who cares about it because you have someone like more corporate minded or not from the city. They're just out of state investors. They're a little aggressive when it comes to setting that up, right? When they're going out and they're setting up the rent rolls, or when they're setting up the rent, or when they're getting ready to sell the property, or if they're going to sell the property, are they going to maintain the property? That's why, you know, as a realtor, yeah, I would enjoy selling the property to someone that actually lives here because that's what you want to do. That's the only way to slow down the overall market, in my opinion. But I'm just gonna go right into it though. All right. So look, um, I had to jump on as well just to let you guys know, man. I'm seeing a ton of opportunity when it is coming to this foreclosure list right now. One of the properties, for example, right now that I'm looking at, and I'm gonna give you the street. I won't give you the actual address, but I'll give you the street, right? Royal Palm, right? This is on Royal Palm. This property I'm looking at right now, and I got to do a CMA. Like I said, these numbers could be subjective in my you know in my opinion because one, you know, if you have not participated in the foreclosure auction or been a part of it or purchased the foreclosure list, you wouldn't know. But there is an estimated market analysis on a property that says, hey, if you're going to bid on this property, this is what it's estimated. Now that's being estimated without utilizing a realtor or not even utilizing someone conducting a CMA, comparable market analysis, and see if the property's worth what it's worth. However, you're trying to get some quick numbers, or you just want to be see if you're in the ballpark. I would say, look, just look at the Central Appraisal District website, see what they say. That's not always 100%, but that'll give you a rough estimate of where you're at on that particular property price. But anyway, so this property I'm looking at right now, right? There's two liens on it. First lien is 159,000. It says it's subject to DT. So subject to DT means uh, deed of trust, right? So 159,000 is subject to the deed of trust. The second lien is $429.40. It's the HOA lien. So that already puts you in your mind that this is an HOA, right? But the other thing is total. I mean, this is unless there's another lien, because remember, when you're talking about foreclosures, you're also talking about understanding if there's multiple liens. There could be unknown liens that you don't see here. There could be, creditors going personally after someone and trying to go through the home. So you always want, it's always great practice to do what's called a title search. Title search, you can give it a title company, any title company, call them up, see if they can help you out. And I don't want to say any title company because not all title companies are built the same. Not all title companies enjoy doing this process or are insured for certain dollar amounts. So you have to actually ask those questions as well, right? But anyway, find your title company, vet them properly, make sure that you know who they are, right? But this property here is 159, 429, 40. What it's saying right now, the CAD value on this property is $408,895. That's that's huge, bro. That's huge. This is worth doing a CMA on. This is worth going to go see this property in person. So yeah, man, that's what's gonna happen, man. I gotta see the property in person, see the condition. Okay? Yeah, I'm definitely gonna see a man on this tomorrow. But you have any questions? Just go ahead and drop them in. Okay, here we go. Boom, boom. So I'm just vibing, man. That's all I'm doing right now. Just going through the list, seeing what's on here right now. That's probably what we're looking at right now. See, some of these homes are not even on the MLS. That's what's strange. If you're going through a foreclosure, you definitely want to try to sell the property. You still have possession of that property. Till you lose and your name's off that deed, you still have possession. But what they fall short at is maybe if it's a brand new home, you just recently got it, it's not a lot of equity. Right now it's a buyer's market, so people aren't paying full price for properties. Mm, this one's closed, right? I'm looking at the MLS on this property. This next one, same thing, not even sold, but sold price was 204. They had it on the market 53 days. It took to sell this property. It's 2012, 204, about $100 a square foot, which is nice. All right, let's see. What are we looking at? Oh my God. We're gonna mess with this one. So this is a great example. I'm looking at this property right now on Palmieri Drive, right? And then I'm looking at the subject amount for the actual lien itself, right? Or for the deed, 181,500, 181,000. That's you said that's the additional lien. There's a first lien. I don't know how that even happened. I don't like I said, one what I'm saying is for entertainment purposes only, right? But this is why you have to get a title company to translate this, let you know. I'm looking at two liens right now, man. One is 131,200, and the second one is 181,500. The home's only worth 284. And that's cat. That's like I said, that's still even a rough estimate, right? Sheesh, that's just 280, like 310. Sheesh. Yeah, that one's gonna stay put, right? We're gonna tag it. Gonna leave this one alone. Leave that one alone. That's all she wrote right here. So I'll finish it up tomorrow, man. These don't even look right. Just looking at them. This one might have some promises here. That's what I'm saying, man. Why are these not CAR? Bop, 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 bop. Mm, 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 mm. Damn, man. See, this is sad, bro. They bought this house 2002. House was sold for 78,000. You ain't even buying a house anymore for 78,000. It's estimated the house is 221. One lien on it, 16,000, bro. Sad, man. It's sad that you're losing a home over that, man. To be honest, it should have been paid off. So I don't know if they just took a loan out. What happened? Okay. All right. That's gonna be it for this one, right? Have a quick conversation with you guys, and I'm gonna pop up off of this. All right, that's my man. Give me a head. What? Mm, mm. All right, man. I'm sorry. I'm out here vibing, man. I'm just chilling. All right. Look. All right. So foreclosure auction is coming up. You guys already know. First Tuesday of every month, 10 o'clock, El Paso Coliseum, County Coliseum. It's a very, very hot room. So I do suggest you wear light clothing. Make sure you have some time because it's all day. What I found out from last month is after the first wave of people leave, and the second wave, and the third wave, and the fourth wave, please believe properties are still being auctioned all day. I was told that the auction's going all the way down to like maybe 2, 3, 4 o'clock. So have some patience. If you're scared, intimidated, just show up, take a look, see how it goes, see the vibe, check it out. Understand that 3 to 4 auctions are going at the same time. Not to mention if there's any lawyers or anyone that's a trustee that's representing the property, they're also going. Now I would say, I know when I first got there, they were moving, right. Both auctioneers were going on at the exact same time when they were auctioning these properties off. It's gotten a little better where they're now taking turns, so you do have a little bit of time. However, I would say you want to do your homework prior to coming to the auction. Not only that, you remember these are cash deals. You have to have the cash on you. You might say, Mike, I don't know what the property's going to bid for. How do I have the exact amount? Well, you pull out as much as you're willing to bid on the property. If you plan on bidding 200,000 that day, take a cashier check out for 200,000. If you plan on bidding 150,000, pull out 150,000, put in a cashier's check. If you are to win a property, what would happen is, say you won it for 75,000, you had $100,000 check. You'll go ahead and close out the transaction with the auctioneer. They have a whole team there. They would then write you a check back for the difference. So you get your cash back. So you continue. You still want to bid, you can if you have enough funds. Just keep going, right? Additionally, I say this to you guys: understand where the opportunities present. Where are the opportunities when it comes to foreclosures? Because I would say you can get caught up really quick if you don't understand what you're doing. So definitely don't hesitate to reach out to myself. I do charge a fee when it comes to understanding the foreclosures, and I'm only explaining it at a very, very elementary level, just enough to give you the information that you can get yourself started. So it's not so intimidating and you can follow along. Now, there are other resources that I found available if you do go to the auction in person. There is some resources there as well. Additionally, I will tell you, you need to have a title company that you know and can work with. I myself was still trying to build relationships, trying to find the right ones. I actually called a couple of them. Well, I've called a lot of them, to be honest. I've yet to find the right one that's going to do the right deal with me, because you have to understand, if you're doing a title search on a property, these are very, very expensive. You're talking about anywhere from 75 to 100, maybe $200. I mean, it just depends on the company, right? But you don't want to just hand them this list and say, hey, I want a title search for each and every property. Right now, there's a total of 123 properties being auctioned this month. We're going into next month, right? There's 123 properties. So, this is why you want to vet, do your homework, see what makes the most sense for you prior to doing that title search. And then from the title search, and now you're just trimming the fat of what you're going to look at. So if you have, for example, there's 123 properties, you find at least 20 good properties you like, just from the number, just from what you see on the spreadsheet. Then you turn those numbers into the title company. From the title company, you get a list of, hey, these properties are great, they're good to go, they're clear title after this particular lien is paid off. You might have 5 of them, and now you're going to go look at them in person. Now, remember, you're really doing this sight unseen, because you can't enter the property. You can't get an inspector. There's really nothing you can really do besides drive by it, try to look at the roof from where you're at, foundation, structure, utilities. Are there cars there? Does it look like it's a renter versus an owner, et cetera, right? That's what you have to do. That's what you have to look at. So that's one thing about foreclosures. It is a bit risky. That's why a lot of people don't like participating in it, or they might have a bad experience from it because they really didn't know what they were getting into. I said I participated in foreclosures and tax sales in Indiana. I think it was more tax sales than anything. So this was new to me, but it's the same process. So city to city, state to state, there's similar processes. Of course, laws change state to state and city to city. So definitely do your due diligence and understand that. But once you have a good foundation, you understand what is going on, this may be an opportunity for you to get in a home. And I only say that because homes are getting more and more expensive. Not everybody can afford 220, 400, $500,000, man. So I would say it like this, our generation needs to be like our grandparents. We need to start saving for what we want. We need to start saving for what we want. One trend that I'm seeing this month versus what I've seen the previous month vetting these properties, I've actually been taking the time to see what type of financing was used when the homeowners purchased the property. I believe last month was a lot of VA, FHA. I'm seeing more conventional than I've ever seen. So I haven't been through the whole list, but majority of it has been conventional so far. I do see a lot of equity, but I also see some of these properties actually have been on the market and they're pending to be sold. And believe it or not, that is good news because people aren't just losing their homes and not getting nothing in return. You got to know when to pull your cards. You got to know when to call a spade, and you got to know when to, fold your hand. If you're struggling, can't keep up with the payments, you've already contacted the bank, you've done everything you could possibly do. Don't wait until you get that letter in the mail, and then now your property's getting foreclosed on, and then you're deciding, you know what, it is what it is. I'm leaving. I'm gonna pack my stuff up. I'm just gonna go. Well, you could do that, but you've been paying on this home for 10, 15, 20 plus years. You only had that much more to go. Yes, the grand total is a lot. You might not be able to pay that full balance off because that's what the bank is wanting from you. No, you can't. And just because you didn't sell it on time doesn't mean anything. Like, let me take that back. Take your time, find out your options before you just say, I'm done with the property. I'm done with my home that I've been paying on, I've been working on. I think that's the biggest thing I could say. I'm also seeing there's a trend here as well. I'm seeing, what are they called? Reverse mortgages, right? I'm seeing the reverse mortgages. For you guys that don't know, you have people loaning, I would say, the elderly money based off their home. So say their home was worth $100,000, they do a reverse mortgage. I mean, their property's paid off. They're now asking for $100,000, right? And then they have to slowly pay that back, but they're living off of the that income. They're living off that income. It's sad to see. That's what it was for. It was for that. In case people didn't have an investment, but if we look back, if we start understanding our finances, you understand that. When you're in your teens, when you're in your 20s, 30s, 40s, make it a priority to save. Make it a priority to invest. Make it a priority to do something other than trying to use your home as a savings account when that home could be, man, it could stay in the family for as long as we can keep up with it, right? What's the benefit of paying it all the way off and then put on a reverse mortgage and then it's going back to the bank, and it can't stay with the family. Like, what would that do if that property could stay in the family? You could pass it off to your friends. I mean, to your loved ones. That's all I'm saying. Everybody has their reasons, bro. I'm looking at another lien, $25,000 bail bond. Oh my god. Somebody put their home up. Like I said, this month has been crazy. This list has been one of the craziest one I've seen. I'm looking at a mechanics lien for 8,400. Someone put a mechanic lien on this guy. Yeah, I want to get paid. These HOA liens, HOA is kicking people in the rear, boy. They might even force this. They might even force this foreclosure. I'm looking at a guy right now. Second lien is $792.34. A third HOA lien for $3,806.31. A fourth lien for $9,527.50. And now, mind you, I'm telling you, this is what it says estimated wise for this property. The property worth $541,000. The amount total that he owes on a property itself is $259,000 plus these liens. You do the math on that. He's somewhere like 260, 270. But the home is worth 541,000, bro. That's insane, man. That makes me sick to my stomach. Now we got to check this out. Let's see if this house is listed for sale right now. Because if it's not listed for sale, and he's just gonna let it go, he or she's gonna let it go. That's insane, bro. That's just insane. But let's take a look. Let's see what it says. This is what I'm saying. Need that number, bro. If I had the money to do some of this stuff, I would take the risk. I think I've learned this enough that I would do something with it. 6'9". Oh man, it's not even listed, bro. See what I'm talking about? Why would you not have this house for sale? Why would you just lose your home and not fight? Not, you know what I'm saying? Put it up for sale, bro. Do something. Oh man, it's a beautiful home, bro. It's a beautiful home. Beautiful, beautiful home. Let me tell you the detail. Well, you don't have any details on it. I wish it did. Oh, here we go. It's a 3,500 square foot home, four beds, 5 baths. It's estimated on Zillow $606,000. That's crazy. Now on auction.com, it's not going to say what the starting bid is, but normally it starts with what the bank needs, what the bank was asking for. And like I said, I mean, unless there's something different or behind the scenes, it's simply looking like he has the liens got overwhelming. These are most likely fees and fines for whatever was going on with the property. That's the other thing, man. Be careful with these HOAs. Like now, I have no problem. I would love to be living in an HOA, but I was in the military. I grew up with rules, so I have no problem reading stuff and getting on people's asses. But for most of y'all, I don't think an HOA is good enough or is good for you, because you have to follow these rules to the T, to the letter, bro. They tell you to cut your grass on a Sunday at 9 o'clock in the morning, and you haven't been outside at 9 o'clock in the morning on a Sunday, you're gonna have a problem. Most people that are only that live in HOAs are. I'm just gonna say what it is, man. They got nothing to do, bro. They got nothing to do but to talk mess and check everybody's property out. So unless you got the time to keep up with it, I don't suggest it, bro. I don't suggest it, but like I said, I'm looking at some of these liens. Oh my God. I'm looking at this other one right here. This guy has a second lien for $21,000, third lien for $6,000, Fourth lien for 13,000. Another lien for 6,000. Oh my God. Going through it, bro. This guy's going through it. Going through it. There's a mechanics lien on this. I'm looking at another property. There's a mechanics lien for 13,000. And another lien. Oh, we did a reverse mortgage, man. Oh my God. 168,000. Plus his mechanics lien to 13,355. Wow. And that's what I'm saying, man. Like, and I'm like, what are you gonna do? Because your home is foreclosed on, you're not gonna find another property at $168,000, man. You're just not about to do it. You know, man, it sucks. So let me see. I don't think I see anything else that's crazy. Somebody put a lien on someone's house for $508. Now, I don't think that. Okay, I'm looking at. All right, this one looks crazy. This one looks crazy. This one looks confused. This is why I say you need a title company, bro. Because these liens on here is crazy. I'm looking at property number 80. So the owner for the deed of trust, it says deed of trust, no release. Previous owner, deed of trust, no release, owes 76,000. There's a second lien for 34,000. A third lien for 210,000. Fourth lien for 80. Like, I'm not touching this property with a 10-foot pole. Like you don't want to bid on this. This just seems like problems. Look, and it even says title issue. It even has notes that says title issues. Let me give you the story. This property right here, Cedar Grove Park. Property taxes are $3,800. Not bad. It's saying the subject amount just for the deed of trust is $110,000. What CAD, the city, is saying your property's worth, and like I say, our CAD is different than everybody else's city and counties. I promise you, because ours is damn near market value, almost market value when they evaluate these properties out here. So it's 110,000. CAD is saying the property is 139,000. How, Sway? We looking at the first lien on this property. The first lien on this property I just talked about, with most it could be is 139. 800,000 from the previous owner. Deed of trust, no release. Second lien, 110,000. Subject, deed of trust. Third lien, 63. Like, bro, what happened? Title issues, and that's the notes for it. It says title issue. Man, so you think you got it bad when it comes to funds and where you at with you, man, there's some real people out here dealing with some hardships, bro. Hardships. I'm looking at another property right now. I'm looking at another property. This one here, they have a trash lien, 354. The city's putting liens on people, man. Now, mind you, we know about the city. You know, the city does their best, but I'm telling you, I can go to neighborhoods. I can show you, bro. Like, on my weekend, you look at me like I'm crazy. I'm putting in 311 requests all day in the city of El Paso. I promise you, because I wouldn't have to. The city would just do what they're supposed to do. But if you're gonna sit here and say my property worth $300,000-$400,000, but I'm in $100,000 neighborhood, where you getting this from? Where are you getting these numbers from? But anyway, I'm looking at this property, right? $15,000, no release. Second lien from the cities, 354.93. That's a trash lien. Third lien is 209,000, and then the fourth lien is another 385 with the trash lien. Bro, the property's only worth 260. Like, I mean, there's a little equity in it. plus that 15. So you know, you can mess with it, but man, let's see, man, the trash lien city ain't they putting trash liens on people, bro. Mm. Reverse mortgage title issue subject deed of trust was foreclosed on April 1st, 2025. Bro, this is man. I'll tell you what. I'll tell you what. Um, makes no sense, bro. No sense. All right, we looking at a couple more before I go. Couple. Oh my God. One, two, three. There's three properties. This is a $2 million property. Wow, $2 million. First lien is oh my God. The lien on here is 8,640,000. Bro, there's a bank that's sick right now. There's a bank that's sick. There's a bank that's sick. There's a second lien of $2 million. That's insane. That is insane. We gotta look this property up. 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 What is this? Bro. It's just vacant land? Oh, they're trying to lease this stuff. Oh, I know where this is at. Huh. This is crazy, bro. This is crazy. Well, everybody out here struggling, bro. Mm-mm-mm. Some of this stuff make me sick, bro. This makes me sick. Oh my God. First lien 640. This might be worth it though, man. If I had the money, sheesh. I'm telling you, man, there's some properties on this thing today, bro. It's a country club road property on here. I think it has a private road. Let me see what the details say on this. 1.5 million. It says the property worth 1.5 million. 1.5 million. Let me see. It says the first lien is 640. Bro, who's gonna buy this? Like if there's no other liens on this would be oh my God. 7,000 square feet. 4 beds, 6 baths. Tell me this is on the MLS. Tell me this is on the MLS. It was on there. They even sold it. They probably don't believe nobody gonna buy it. That's the thing. original list price was 1.4 million. 1.4 million was it sold for 800. It was on the market the first time for 700 days because nobody had the 1. Someone got a deal on it and then lost it. It doesn't even say the seller's name. Oh my god. Oh man, you gotta just get creative at this point, I guess, man. It does have deed restrictions. So man, everything that you learn in the real estate academy, you start seeing it slowly depending on what type of property you look at. Mm, yeah. But anyway, man, I'm gonna jump up off here. I'm tired. I'm rambling at this point. Appreciate everybody popping in, checking me out. Let me see. I got a Twitch, man. I'm trying to stay up on all my stuff. Let me see if I'm on Twitch. Am I live on Twitch right now? Let's see. Oh my god. I want to see it. I'm on it. Oh yeah, I am. It's all blurry though. Why is my stuff blurry like this? No, bro. Something ain't right. It's on here though, so I got to figure out how to grow this. Hmm. Okay, well I know that works now. Let's see on YouTube. I'm on YouTube. Let's see. You can verify this stuff. I'm on here. Everything's so blurry though. I'm confused, bro. I'm gonna have to ask ChatGPT what I did. I might get connect. Well, at least I know it works. Let's go on Facebook. Make sure it's on Facebook too. I don't know why it's so blurry though. It says it's on my Facebook, on my personal Facebook. Oh, I'm on a different one. Oh, it's on here. Okay. Okay, we working, we working. Sorry, y'all. I just had to check it out, see how everything goes. Okay. All right, we're good. We're good. Okay. All right, appreciate y'all, man. I'm off. Peace.